It's like a stale sugar cookie.
Oh, no, it's just the remnants of the baking that happened.
Oh.
The cookie's no longer there.
It smells like memories of sugar cookies.
Exactly, yes. Welcome. We are the Whiskey Laymen. I'm Mac, and this is Matt. Today we're talking about Jameson. Matt, Jameson.
Jameson. I, even as a non-whiskey drinker, have heard of Jameson many, many times.
Sure. This is kind of what you think of as an Irish whiskey, right? Like it's Irish. It's a whiskey. I don't really know much beyond that.
No, I mean, I associate it with like St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
I know being out at bars on St. Patrick's Day before, I've seen Jameson shots advertised quite frequently. I know some of my friends have ordered like Jameson and ginger ale before.
Okay.
Before you and I started trying whiskeys, though, had never actually tasted Jameson, I don't believe, unless someone gave me a Jameson and Coke and told me it was a Captain and Coke. That's possible, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So, what do you think about this bottle? This, I mean, it's actually a green bottle.
It's green, yeah.
It's the other two bottles we've done so far, not green.
Right, no. I mean,
what's up with that?
That's the color this color, at least I associate with Ireland, right?
That does make sense.
Green and Ireland go hand in hand, so it makes sense that you'd have an Irish whiskey that's a green bottle. But you're right, yeah, every bottle we've done on our episodes, and just every bottle I think of whiskey I've seen has been clear, right?
I think so, yeah.
I can't recall a colored bottle, really, so this is definitely a first.
So it's got, a cool little seal on here, too.
It does. This is another, I feel like, a very classy bottle.
It's, okay, so the labels, they are not crooked on this one.
They're not.
We've seen a lot of crooked labels, and that's like stylistic or whatever. This one looks a little bit more put together.
That's right, yeah. Third episode, but only the first non-crooked label.
Yeah.
So that's 1 out of 3. Yeah, it feels fancy. It's got like a nice, thick, textured label on it, though. Kind of bumpy feeling, but it feels like very thick paper that this was printed on. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice, like, a notch in the bottle, kind of, where the label fits underneath.
So there's more of glass work going on. I think all the bottles we've had have had some sort of either raised or impressions, or I guess that's just a very common thing to do.
And actually here on the back, we have John Jameson and Son, which is embossed into the glass. And then on the front, we have the 1780. So yeah, you're right. A lot of fancy bottle work there, glass work. It makes me feel a little more sophisticated because I'm drinking something that at least has the impression that they put more money into.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
For us, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Knowing as much as we know.
Right. Which is nothing.
Should we open it and see what's going on?
Yeah, let's crack it open. It's a nice, satisfying crack there on the twist-off top. Oh wow, I can smell it already just in the room from you pouring.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, I got like a faint whiff there. It's got a pretty light kind of blondish color, I would say, to it. A little hint of maybe amber or redness in it, but all in all, I would call this more of a yellow color.
Yeah,
golden yellow.
So this it's not an immediate smell that's not like an overpowering smell to me.
No, very mild smell, I would say. Much less strong of a scent than either of the whiskeys we've tried before.
Yes, especially the Bullet we tried recently. That just kind of like popped out at me that I'm here. This is a drink. This is
very mellow.
I guess I'm getting something sweet, like a sugar cookie maybe. Yeah. I mean, very faint though. Like maybe a sugar cookie that was baked a week ago and nothing else has been in the kitchen.
It's like a stale sugar cookie.
Oh no, it's just the remnants of the baking that happened.
Oh,
the cookie's no longer there.
It smells like memories of sugar cookies.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, so not nearly as much burn as the Bullet.
Absolutely agree with that, yeah. I also, though, think it doesn't have nearly as much flavor as other things we've tried. I get, of course, the bit of alcohol burn like I would get, I think, from any liquor.
Sure.
And then it just kind of vanished for me. If anything, in my mouth now, I get like a hint of sugar and maybe like a almost like a cracker, I want to say.
Okay.
Like some kind of starch product.
Sure. Yeah.
But not like a potato.
But very faint. I'm getting like a
Biscuit?
like a vanilla wafer thing.
Okay, like a Nilla wafer?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just without the strong taste of vanilla, I would say, though.
Right, like I'm getting, to go back to where we were earlier, the memory that could have been vanilla.
Right.
Which I think is just also kind of like the sugar cookie kind of thing. Like it's like that faint sweetness that could be any number of things, but that I'm personally associating with a sugar cookie.
Interesting. Okay.
I can see why this would be popular. It's not overpowering at all.
No.
Like I feel like you could mix this with a whole bunch of different things if that was what you were into, or if you just wanted to pretend like you were cool and sophisticated, give this a go. And it's not going to bite you, I think.
That's true. Despite our descriptions of the label, though, I don't think the impressions I've got from people I know who do know about whiskey, or from people who drink Jameson, is that it's kind of a cheaper brand of whiskey, right? Like, well, you bought this bottle. Do you recall?
This was not that expensive.
Okay. So maybe it has the impression of classy without the
price tag.
Right, without the price tag associated with being classy.
The more I sip this now, I am getting kind of reinforcing that sugary aftertaste.
Okay, so it's kind of building up more sugar as you taste it?
It's just, I guess it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's feeling a bit more desserty? Maybe my personal tastes have started to tell me that whiskey in general is a more desserty type drink.
Interesting.
I'm picking out a lot of like the sweeter notes when we're doing these tastings now, so
Maybe,
interesting.
Okay. Maybe you ate something really not sweet recently and everything seems sweet in comparison.
Could very well be true.
I don't know. No, I definitely my mouth feels like I ate something sweet, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I just ate something sweet without the actual sweet flavor being there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Does that make sense? Like
does to
I
me.
feel like you get a certain mouthfeel after eating like a really sweet cookie or a piece of candy. And
You've activated those taste buds there a little bit, maybe.
yeah, we'll go with that.
So what are your thoughts on this then? How does this make you feel?
I actually like this.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to say that I definitely like this more than the two whiskeys we tried in our first two episodes, which would be Johnny Walker, well, technically three, because we tried Johnny Walker Red, Johnny Walker Black, and Bullet Bourbon. And I would say of those four now drinks, this is my favorite.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's even after saying that there really wasn't a whole lot coming at you when you first tasted it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot coming at me, but there's not an unpleasant burn, which I saw in the Bullet, and there's not an unpleasant smokiness, which I did not like, which was present in both of the Johnny Walkers.
Okay, so for you, it so far has been more of limiting the number of things that you don't like versus you're absolutely picking up something you do like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's nothing in this that jumps out at me and screams that this is great.
Okay.
But there's nothing in this that screams out and jumps at me that it's bad. I am going to give Jameson, regular Jameson Irish whiskey, a 6.5 out of 10. That's what I'm going with. How about you?
I liked this probably just the same as the bourbon we did recently.
As the Bullet. Okay.
Yes, and I believe I gave that a 6, so I'll have to give this a 6 as well.
Okay.
For me, it wasn't so much about limiting the things I didn't like. I liked some things in this, and I liked some things in the Bullet. This, sure. I feel it does have a little bit of a sugary taste to it, and there was essentially no burn. It's very good.
And you're saying
I like it.
Both as positive things. Both
yes.
The fact that it's sugary and doesn't have burn.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's only a 6 though, because I still think that there's some mythical higher standard that we just haven't encountered yet.
Okay.
So I want to leave room for those super good things that are to come.
This elusive, magical, supreme whiskey.
Supreme whiskey.
That is out there somewhere that I'm sure all whiskey experts know and are, thinking, why are these idiots not trying this whiskey?
Well, we're just going to have to struggle through being complete whiskey idiots until we're not.
I think we are pretty good at that. Let's move on to the tasting notes.
Tasting notes, yes.
Yes. All right. So JamesonWhiskey.com says, on the nose, Jameson Irish whiskey is smooth and mellow.
Okay, so this is harking back to the idea of giving you descriptors that are not normal descriptors, in my opinion, right?
That's right. Like if you
what is a mellow smell?
I mean, I understand what they mean by saying it doesn't have a very strong smell, but if I'm a complete noob to whiskey and trying to find out what Jameson whiskey smells like, and I see that it says that it's smooth and mellow, that gives me absolutely no information from, at least from my perspective, of what that actually smells like. Okay.
What does it taste like?
So Jameson says that this whiskey is the perfect balance of spicy, nutty, and vanilla notes with hints of sweet sherry and exceptional smoothness. So there's the smoothness showing up again.
It's got the smoothness. The vanilla could be sugar cookie-ish.
Yeah.
So sherry was also, though.
Sherry, yeah.
And spicy.
Hints of sweet sherry. And they say a perfect balance of spicy, nutty, and vanilla notes.
Okay, so I'm missing a couple of those.
Yeah.
And maybe I just haven't experienced enough of those flavors to be able to give them their own profile and pick it out as something else.
Right, yeah. You can't recall what something tastes like if you've never tasted it before.
Right. And I feel like I probably have tasted those things, but not necessarily enough of it to be able to easily recall it.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever had sherry, which is a type of wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just shows how much of laymen we are.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll start our offshoot channel, the Wine Layman, next.
Yeah.
They say sweet sherry, so I guess at least the sweetness.
Right.
And you did mention the vanilla. I don't think either of us picked out the spiciness or nuttiness.
Yeah. I think maybe we're comparing it in our heads probably to the bourbon, and I think that had a lot more spicy.
Yes.
And I think this is much more subdued. And we
Yeah.
just haven't had enough different whiskeys to be able to differentiate them that easily.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
I think that lends itself to being more palatable to a wider selection of people as well.
Yeah, I imagine
there's less to pick out wrong with it. Kind of thing.
Which is probably why Jameson seems so popular.
I think that makes sense.
Right, and I think that's probably why I liked it as well. Any final thoughts on Jameson before we wrap this up?
Not really. I mean, this was like I said, it's good. Yeah. It's not. I think there's better. But
it's a recurring theme here.
In terms of what we've tried so far, I could see myself drinking this any number of times.